Hi, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, recorded and produced at the Video Podcast Studio. I'm your host, Gina Yager, founder and director of GYC Vegas, an award-winning PR and marketing agency. We believe every company has a story to tell, and we're passionate about getting businesses recognized. At Get Your Chat On, we sit down with local professionals to get to know a little about their organization, their role, and their perspective on our vibrant business community here in Southern Nevada. On today's episode, we're chatting with Michael Tchong, creator of Ubertrends Academy, a new online learning platform designed to equip innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders with the tools they need to navigate and thrive in an era of constant disruption. A serial entrepreneur, futurist, and innovation expert who has spent his career decoding the trends that reshape society, Michael specializes in interpreting the massive waves of change redefining our world, from time compression to digital lifestyle. Recognized by the Daily Telegraph as America's most influential trendspotter, Tchong is a published author who's launched 5 startups from desktop publishing to online marketing and generative AI. A TEDx speaker with experience advising global brands including Apple, Johnson & Johnson, and Omnicom, Michael lives life by his own motto: I help you catch the next wave before it catches you. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
Oh, thank you for having me, Gina. It's wonderful to be here. And stop calling me Chong.
It's AP style. I have to, I got it.
Everybody's going to expect Cheech to roll in the studio any minute now.
It's Chong with a T, people. So tell people more about Ubertrends and then Ubertrends Academy.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not waste any time.
Exactly.
All right. A little bit about myself. I'm a 4-time entrepreneur, and now this is my 5th startup officially. And I've had a lengthy career, checkered, as some people might call it.
No.
That started in ad agencies in New York City. Mm-hmm. And wound my way to the West Coast, where inevitably I got, infected by technology. Mm-hmm. And I worked on a couple of unknown accounts at the time, Commodore and Atari.
Oh, wow.
Brands no one had ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, I ended up at Day on Apple. Mm-hmm. And that cemented my reputation in the business as a technosexual.
A technosexual. What a word.
It's like metrosexual, techno. Okay. So I was well known in the industry as I shouldn't say that because I had my first speaking gig at Day and I did terrible. I really flunked it. But, I was invited in the 90s to open up a conference called Web Advertising, and that got me to my 3rd startup, Iconocast, or actually my 4th startup, and that was in digital marketing. And also at the same time launched my speaking career because I stood in front of a group in Monterey, about 500 people, mm-hmm. and I couldn't bomb, I couldn't fail, mm-hmm. So I was forced to do it. So then from that speaking career, I ended up doing something I'd never done before, which is I had a startup that I had to lay everybody off, and I never went through that experience. It was very painful, and I decided that a lot of it was due to all this flawed, rah-rah, cheerleader market forecasts that were not grounded in reality. Mm-hmm. And I thought that, we needed better trend forecasting. We needed better ability to translate what society is going to. And I then became a trend watcher, and I wrote my first book called Trendscape 2004, which dates it. And I started speaking on trends initially, and then as the iPhone got released and everybody's subtly started to notice that innovation was key, that really exploded that whole discipline, and I added that to my repertoire. So now I have Ubertrends Academy. Basically, it's can I leave something for posterity that teaches people something like what I have learned and experienced, that pattern matching talent that looks at numbers and can say, I see something here developing. Mm-hmm. And, we're getting there. One of my big Ubertrends is time compression, as you well know. Time compression is the acceleration of life. So now it's even more imperative that everyone absorb the future faster than ever before, because it's coming to hit us like a freight train.
Talk a little bit about, so you just mentioned one of the, Ubertrends. Talk about some of those other ones and maybe some insights that you can share. Some of which you've been on the talking circuit a little bit this, in here in Las Vegas recently.
I have. I did a preview of the Academy because I wanted to see what people thought of it and how they would react to the content, and if that would strike a bell or ring a chord or do something to them. I think that I need to focus on the two biggest ones, which is the digital lifestyle, the marriage of man and machine, which is that's the Ubertrend responsible for social media and crypto and e-commerce and you name it. It's all their AI robots. So, and then time compression, the acceleration of life. Those are the two Ubertrends that I talk about most. But let me go to them. Casual living, the evaporation of decorum. It touches us every day. People are rude to us. There's road rage. There's more road rage killings. There's, all these things. There's trolling online. So that's casual living. Don't really talk about that one much, but it's in my book, and I want people to know about it because it does affect us. And then there is, digital lifestyle I just talked about. You got Generation Ecstasy, which is the been there, done that Ubertrend. Welcome to Las Vegas, the headquarters of Generation Ecstasy. It's all about the experience economy. It's about being thrilled. It's about, America. America is not entertained unless it suffers a heart attack.
Yeah, it needs to live on the edge, right?
Yeah, we need to live on the edge. We need to parachute off the stratosphere because, it's not heart-rendering enough to do something else. And then I have Unwired, which is the untethered and unfettered generation, which is essentially about the mobile phone, but it starts much earlier. It's actually the oldest Ubertrend that I track. It starts in the early 1900s with the invention of the remote control by Tesla. Not that Tesla, another Tesla. And he actually controlled a little model boat in Madison Square Garden. So they must have set it up with some water body where he showed the remote control. That was the first remote control, and that is what drives Unwired. It's the freedom from wires. It's being able to, feel like you're almost like you're flying because you're sending a text from a beach in the Caribbean. It's wonderful. It's stunning. It's great. You're connected, but you're still on the beach. And then I have Voyeurgasm, the I like to watch Ubertrend, and that is the one about digital surveillance. It's about reality shows. It's about celebrity worship syndrome, where 1/3 of Americans are addicted to celebrities, so they have to read people, et cetera, et cetera. It's more than that. It's about transparency in the future, which is what I advocate for every startup and business to really pay attention to, because the customer demands it. So let your business be transparent. Let people see who you are. I have even suggested put the CEO in a light box and let the camera shine on him all day long. I mean, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. People want to know. And that is that whole voyeurgasm, celebrity worship syndrome kind of coming to a fore, right? I mean, that's what that is all about. So that's voyeurgasm. And then the last one is WAF, the woman's acceptance factor. What does WAF come from? What is semi-automatic, if I can even say it? I can't say it. It's 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. I can't say it. But it's a word that appeared in the 90s. On online forums where men talked about, can you give me an excuse? I just bought a large screen and I need to tell my wife, ex-girlfriend, whatever, that I bought this. And so that became a dedicated forum. The woman's, it's called the wife acceptance factor in those days. Okay, so it was about something that we would never have seen because now we had the internet and it was acting like a glass house. But because they were anonymous, they didn't care, so they were free to share that, they were really actually afraid of the chief financial officer of the house, the wife, right? So then that became, the name for the Woman's Acceptance Factor. I changed it to Woman. It's about the rights of women. And it is, 40-ish pages of nonstop evidence that this is a huge wave that's coming to hit society.
Okay. You talked a little bit about your journey to today and where you are. What brought you to Las Vegas?
Actually, it was somebody you know very well, Tony Hsieh.
Okay.
He hosted these events at Zappos called Zappos Insights, and they were, where they would have speakers come and talk about his principles of how you run a business, ultimate customer service, all of those things. So I was there to, entertain people with trends.
So he invited you.
One day I was telling him I had just jetted in from Atlanta where I was trying to do something that I tell all my audiences to do. I tell everybody, hey, you need to reinvent yourself. But most people will say, hey, take these 2 pills and call me in the morning. That's not helping. So I love to lead by example. I love to say, hey, you know what? I practice what I preach. I do that with innovation. I do that with whatever I do in business. I practice what I preach. So I decided, after 30 years in San Francisco, I would pull up stakes, and I went to Atlanta because I was looking for a city that needed reinvention. And Atlanta was the perfect city for reinvention. It was a former Interop town. It was a former Comdex town. It was a former CES town. And it had lost its glamour. And I thought, hey, you know what? I will go and talk to the city officials and say, hey, you know what? You need to reinvent yourself. I have ideas for Atlanta. I can bring back that luster. Didn't quite work, so I had 120 people I met, believe it or not. And so I was sitting there with Tony, and I said, Tony, I'm looking for a city where I can start an innovation conference so that I can lift their luster. And he said, do you want to meet Mayor Oscar Goodman? And I said, yeah. And the next day I was in Oscar Goodman's office.
Really?
Yeah. Can you believe that? And that was what, of course, I said, Tony, with a network like this, I need to be here. So I moved here.
Wow.
And at the same time, he was already kind of thinking through that reinvent downtown Las Vegas, right?
Yeah. Because you moved here in what year again?
I moved in 2010.
2010,
yeah. And he moved in 2005. And, we would meet at his father's Chinese restaurant above the AMC 2000 in San Francisco on Van Ness. That's the major thoroughfare with all the car dealers. Okay, so he had taken the office in the back of a movie theater building. And then, believe it or not, he was on one mezzanine, and then there was a second mezzanine, and that's where his father had a Chinese restaurant.
Wow. So you knew Tony before you moved here?
Yeah. No. I'll tell you a story, Gina.
Okay.
I'll tell you a story. One day, I was at iPro, a startup that bought my third startup, Interstellar. And I get a call. I get a call from the San Francisco Business Chronicle reporter for business. Her name is Julia Angwin. And Julia says, blah, 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 blah. And then she says, hey, Michael, do you know anybody I should be writing about? I said, yeah, Julia, you should need to write about Link Exchange. It's these 2 dudes, Ali Partovi and Tony Hsieh, stuck in a small office doing banner exchanges. 2 weeks later, the business section of the San Francisco Chronicle was printed on green paper.
Okay.
For money.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Green paper.
Yeah, I like it.
So I took the green paper, and there on the front cover was a huge photo of Ali Partovi and Tony Hsieh.
Wow.
Because of my tip to Julia Angwin.
Your tip to the media.
By November,
wow.
By November, Microsoft paid $380 million for them.
Oh my gosh.
I shared that story on LinkedIn, and I said to everybody, I'm so sorry that I never told Tony this when he was still alive. But I didn't want to, because that would be kind of like, hey, Tony, you wouldn't have been successful without me. Huh? I'm the godfather.
Right,
okay?
right, yeah.
I did this. I called Julia. I said, you got to write about him.
I helped with your first piece of PR.
Anyway, but that is how it happened, you know? So, hey, I can still tell Ali Partovi that story.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What would you say is the motivating spark, the thing that gets you excited to start each day with your work?
I love playing with new tools.
Okay.
I love startups. I love starting things because that is what entrepreneurs dream about. And I love hacking and designing new apps. And I am so excited about the future because we are getting the very tools I've been needing for the rest of my life. I mean, I need them now, but I didn't have them. And I ran a startup called Atelier Systems where we designed the first modularly configurable CRM software.
Oh.
Only then it was called Personal Communication Manager,
Okay.
which is my nomenclature because, of course, I like to start new categories. All right?
Yeah,
So,
new term, new category.
yeah, well, in those days, they were called personal information managers.
Okay.
And that was your, it was Goldmine. I'm sure you know who that was. It was your it was your address book, basically, on steroids. But I thought, hey, we need more. We need more than personal information. It had nodes, too. But so I made it modular. So, you know, when you start the app on a Mac, you see the toolbox, and it had two icons, two tools. One was the contact manager, and the second was write, which was the writer module. So you could type up a letter and fill in the people's name, mail merge, the bane of any admin assistant. Who wants to deal with CSV files, for heaven's sakes? I thought that was so ridiculous. CSV was invented by IBM in 1968.
Oh my gosh.
This should not be foisted on mere mortals. This does not belong in humanity, right?
No longer, yes.
Anyway, so I wanted to banish that. So I had that first thing, and then you could then quit the program, and then you just drop a module in the folder and start the program up, and your toolbox had grown. But it looked exactly the same, and it worked the same. The buttons were in the same order. And then what is my point of pride with this particular project was that the Palm Pilot came after it, Apple's Newton came after it, and I can show you pictures. The interfaces are just. In fact, I'm going to put that up on my website.
Okay.
Because I want to show people that they took my interface, and in those days, round buttons with a label under it, totally unique. Nobody did that. Everybody had text within the button. So it's like, and 3D too, so you could see it was a button. You clicked it.
So I know you talk a lot about AI. You talk a lot about first and foremost digital lifestyle. Talk about and you just mentioned tools. You love using tools. Talk about some of the fun new tools that you enjoy working with right now.
Well, last night I was playing until midnight, but I had to get up really early for International Co-working Day. But if I had I was playing with ChatGPT, GPT-5. It's their latest iteration. And I'm telling you, Gina, we are well on our way to AI CEO because it's getting scarily good.
What would that look like?
Scarily good.
What would AI CEO look like?
An AI CEO, he doesn't ask for time off, and he doesn't ask for raises, and he can actually parse data 10,000 times faster than any CEO can, and he can optimize marketing campaigns 100,000 times better than the marketing VP can. So what is the future holding for the CEO? It's only a matter of time. We have seen the use of avatars for CEOs. The Klarna CEO started it first, then immediately he got a trend follower in Eric Yuan, the CEO of Zoom, who followed a week later with the same concept. Now, of course, both foreigners, really, technically, foreigners, right? Because even though Eric is in San Jose, he's still a Chinese guy. So the Swedish and the Chinese, and then the Polish have done it with an AI CEO, a robot, really, for a rum company. So it's all been done by and Chinese startup, NetDragon. So these are people who are much more willing to push the envelope because unlike America, where we're very conservative financially, that is something we don't really want to try right now, but we are going to. So the way it starts in America is it starts as AI co-CEO. And the AI co-CEO, therefore, can live next to the human counterpart. And the human counterpart has, in essence, become Chief Empathy Officer. Because that is his or her job.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So that is what I see. And these tools are allowing me, I mentioned earlier that I am very excited about the coding capabilities of these tools. I hear GPT-5 is terrific, but Claude Code is the acknowledged market leader here, which is Claude's version of this coding assistant thing. You just tell it what you want, and it comes up with the app. And I am just dying. I have an idea right now for
apps developing apps, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting. An app is everybody's an app. That's basically what it's becoming, and everybody's going to have apps.
Yep.
So that's the future, and that's what makes it so exciting to, because I can talk about it, but I also can use it and channel my knowledge to a group of people who can really benefit from that.
Looking back, you've done so many amazing things in your career, and a serial entrepreneur. You've started and sold so many different startups. What is some advice, some valuable lessons that you can pass along that you've learned along your career?
Entrepreneurship is a virus. And when you catch it, it's bad. So that dooms you to be a serial entrepreneur because you can't even imagine working for somebody else. I've tried in between. It didn't work out very well. So, I think that serendipity. So when I started MacWeek, I was up against a formidable competitor. It was a company called IDG. They were huge. They had IDC, the research arm, and they had a ton of publications like PC Mag and all of Macworld and Uno. And so we started, and I was a guy behind a glass table hiring 32 people. And the people who walked into the office to interview me thought, what is this weird Chinese guy behind a glass table going to launch a magazine that ships to 50,000 people each week? I did. And so once I started, the competition was formidable. They had probably spent $14 million to get that book off the ground. And they had, top dogs like Maggie Cannon and Dan Farber, who are all formidable editorial people. And I was up against, the wall, really. So I came up with really brilliant ideas. I put little showcase ads. I'm sorry about that. I guess I did not really quiet that one down, but I
just
had.
The watch.
So I took them by surprise. I did guerrilla marketing basically. So don't let anybody tell you that you are up against competition. First of all, Bill Ziff, who eventually bought MacWeek, he taught me that competition is good, Michael, because the more people talk about your category, the more it solidifies your concept.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm very happy to be, talking about some of the things I do, because I want competition. So, competition is good. The other thing is stick with it. That's the hardest. It's always, for an entrepreneur, very difficult to stick with an idea for a long period of time because we want to just move on and create something else.
Yeah.
And so you got to hang in there, So it's tough. I mean, I started Iconicast by writing a weekly newsletter, and I did it for 5 years straight. And sometimes I wonder how the hell I did it. but I did it.
And you're still writing newsletters.
And I'm still right. Things haven't changed, have they, Gina? This is really terrible.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to plug that. So if, listeners, if you're interested in learning more about Ubertrends and following Michael's work, you can sign up on Ubertrends.com for his fascinating weekly update and weekly newsletter. My last question with your career, what are you working on right now? What upcoming projects do you have going on? We know about the launch of Uber Academy. Talk about when that's coming, and then subsequently after that, what events you have coming up.
Well, Ubertrends Academy launches formally in September. We are going to have a fabulous, it's a fabulous learning platform. And there will be great opportunities for you to learn about trends like AI, CEO. And then we hope to take that on the road and make that an event, an in-person event, because, that's where everybody gets to schmooze, which is what it's all about, right? And learn. And I think that's what I would love to do next. And, I would love to be able to bring trends to life at these events. And that's another one of my dreams for this business. I think that would make people very excited about going, for one thing, because it'd be a different experience. And I think it would fit in perfectly with Las Vegas. Las Vegas is all about immersive experiences. And I want to immerse the people in my trends.
Yep. We're one of the leaders in creating trends and exploiting trends. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I have a couple of really fun sections that I love to talk about to practice with guests here. I'm a kid of the 80s, so I love Mad Libs. So this is a Mad Lib style doing business in Las Vegas. You tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when I give you the blank, okay? When doing business in Las Vegas, it's essential to have a solid strategy for
Cirque du Soleil. You need to be able to go to all of their events.
Okay. The key to networking in Las Vegas is to always remember to
bring your laptop.
Bring your laptop. Yeah.
Because you want to be able to give someone a presentation right on the spot. I'm sorry. This is a sales animal in me.
No, that's good preparation right there. What about so you're a transplant. I know it's been 15 years, but you're a transplant. What should every new transplant know before doing business here?
Oh my goodness. Can I be candid?
Yeah.
It's a cliquish town.
It can be, right?
Yeah. The gaming crowd just hangs out with itself, So, but I don't think it was any different in Atlanta, where I told you I met 120 people, and so I think that you need to know that, and they're insular, and you need to be able to penetrate that group because they're probably the more important ones here in the city.
Make friends and build relationships.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's a business-friendly culture, and I like that about it. So. But I wish I could be. I would love to be the unofficial Chief Innovation Officer of Nevada. Because I would be spouting out recommendations every day.
Okay.
Just for the hell of it. Just to tell them what I think they should be doing.
We'll see what kind of connections we can make for you as we continue to work together.
The first thing I would do is, you will love this. It's a crazy idea. I would tell the city, make the red light shorter so that we don't wait so long. Because we waste so much time waiting for red lights that we're actually slowing the city down. and also it'd be safer because speeds would come down because you'd be stopped at red lights just as often, but not in that cadence where everyone goes through red lights at 60 miles per hour.
Lastly, on this part, when it comes to connecting with a business contact over coffee, lunch, or drinks, you can't go wrong meeting at?
Oh, Peppermill Lounge. That's
the
place to go.
Iconic.
Yeah, come on. You got to show off your city. That is where I would recommend you go.
Nice. Personal lightning round. I love asking
no.
these fun questions. So, if you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
Oh, I would always go to Paris.
Okay.
I love that city. So I'm headed there in a few days.
A few days, yes. Go on a much needed vacation.
Yes.
Before
yes.
you launch.
It's a city
Ubertrends.
of light, and you feel it. You know, it's enlightening. And that I like that. I'm a Renaissance man, so I love that.
It's a perfect fit for you. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
Oh, my goodness. Well, it would be the nonstop memory.
Nonstop memory?
Yes, you got to be able to remember.
Just remembering everything?
Everybody,
Yeah. Everybody's
everything,
name.
every detail. That is the superpower I wish I had.
Yeah.
You know, because that would make me
Well, now we've got-
formidable.
Now we've got AI to remember everything for us.
Yeah, that's going to turn us into, slaves.
Yes.
That's what. Or look what the phone has done. No one can remember mom and pop's number
Phone number,
anymore
yeah.
because it's in the phone now. So we're going to become, you've seen those GPS accidents, right? The Amazon truck driver stuck under the bridge on the golf course because he was following the GPS, got stuck under a bridge in an Amazon delivery truck. I mean, talk about being completely addicted to our devices to such an extent that they make us dumb.
Right. That's where we're headed. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done, and would you do it again?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. What is the most adventurous thing I've had? I don't think I can mention that here on your show.
Oh, my.
So,
maybe we'll keep it PG and say starting up how many companies? That's adventurous, right? You've been stuck to your work for the last 30 years.
yeah, I don't get out much, so
Well, you have a great time on your trip. It has been so much fun chatting with you today. And for our audience learning more about Ubertrends, tell people how they can learn more about the Academy and follow you in your work.
Oh, okay. All right. So go to Ubertrends.com. That is the number one source. Go to Ubertrends.com/academy to learn about the school. You can follow me on just about every medium. I am Michael Tchong on LinkedIn. I'm Ubertrends.academy. I'm Uber Academy on Twitter, and I'm Ubertrends. Oh, I'm getting confused anyway. But anyway, you can follow me. LinkedIn is the one I would recommend everybody go. That's Michael Tchong. That's really
That's
easy.
the business world.
That's the one,
Yeah.
Look, there's too many social media. We need to cut back.
Yeah.
It's just like your caloric intake of social media is excessive. You need to cut back.
Yep. And speaking of that, that's a wrap for today's episode. Be sure to follow us at GYC Vegas on Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn, and subscribe to our channel wherever you stream podcasts. And if you want to learn more about how your business can enhance its marketing efforts through the power of PR, visit our website at gycvegas.com. Thanks for listening to Get Your Chat On, and we'll see you next time.